What's going on, Infected? Welcome to the Kwarenteen. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a game that was sent to me to review by the name of Starlight Stage. Now what Starlight Stage is it's a game where you and up to 3 other players are all production managers, essentially, at an idol company, basically. So you have these girls and you're trying to make them super famous for a lot of prestige and fame towards your company. And this is done via set collecting and a little bit of hand management. And so to do this, you're going to be assigning these girls to various different tasks, making them better, upgrading your girls basically, in order to make them a little more efficient and send them on these tasks to thus either, train them or bring in more fame. And you're going to be doing that throughout the course of the game. You may wind up getting more idols, but essentially you have 3. So in a nutshell, that's kind of how you play, so let's go take a look at it. Alright, to set everything up, first and foremost, you're going to give each player one of each of the 3 starting girls. Then you're going to shuffle each one of the decks, and then you're going to draw 1 card for every player, as you see here. Now there is one thing I do need to make sure I mention. Everything you see here is actually the Japanese version of the game with paste ups from Board Game Geek so I could review the game. However, the official release from Japanime Games is going to be, of course, fully printed in English and so on and so forth. So to start your turn, all you're going to do is you're going to draw 1 card from one of the 3 decks, and this is optional. So if you're one of those people, you don't have to draw a card. You can just watch the world burn. Or you can take 1 card, usually in the beginning of the game it's going to be from the event deck, and you're going to put it at the end of the column. Then you're going to play one of your girls. Now there's an exception to this, but you're going to play 1 girl and you're going to assign it to one of the 3 types of cards. Now I can play her and I can assign her to, say, upgrade to this if somehow I was able to pay for it. And then this card, if you upgrade an idol, you take a card from the top one here. The idol that you played gets removed from the game and is replaced by this one. So this would just be my new idol now. Or if I'm able to pay the cost for this, this would go into my little play area to show that I have points, which are in the top right corner. Or if I'm able to pay the cost, which I'll cover cost paying in just a second, but I can take this event card and you're just going to do whatever the text says. Or if it has this little symbol here, if that wants to focus, if it has that symbol here, it stays in my play area, and I can then use it to spend on future costs. Then the last thing you could do is I could play her, say I couldn't afford anything, and I can just take a token from the bank that can be used later to purchase more cards. So once you do that, your turn's over, goes to the next person. They have the option to draw 1 card from one of 3 decks, they play an idol, so on and so forth. Now, there's a couple exceptions. I can play, for example, I could play both of these cards, and so this is a diamond and a heart, because anything you see here is what the card produces. I could play both of these, and I can just gain this card. Now up in the top left is the cost of the card. So I can buy this, use both of these, and this goes in here. Later I can spend this for either just a normal heart, and it'll be removed from the game, or I can spend it for what's called an achievement requirement, as you see up here. So it has a little bit of balancing there of how do you want to spend this. You spent 2 cards. Do you use this for its achievement, or maybe you really need a card that just needed a heart? But the exception was, like I said, you can play 2 cards, but only to get an event, not to get fame and not to upgrade idols. As I mentioned, you can upgrade your idols, and if I were to upgrade her, say, I played her, actually let's say I played this one, and then I had this, and I also had an idol for the music note, or not the music note, yeah. I had an achievement for a music note. So what would happen is she would be removed from the game, and this would go into my used idols instead. So now I've upgraded her. So when I play her next time, she's going to be worth 3 victory points just at the end of the game, but I'm also going to be getting 2 hearts and a music note as well, which is awesome. Then when you get her, it says add the top card of the event deck to the offer, which is the area out here. So that's also just an effect that happens. But you're going to continue to do this. You're going to play 1 idol or 2 if you're getting an event. You're going to do your action, and it's going to keep going around until everybody has no more idols left. Now the reason for that is there's one of each idol that sits off to the side. there are 3 cards in this giant deck here that allow you to get more idols. But the game's going to continue until the Fame deck runs out completely. Once the last card is pulled out from that, the game is going to be over at the end of the round. You're going to add up victory points that you see here on your cards, all the cards that you have in your tableau here, any idols that you have. You know, in this case, I would have 3, 4, 5, and let's say I just had this, so I would have 5, 6, 7, 8 points. But some of these have purple stars. So in this case, it says worth 1 additional star for each music achievement at the end of the game. So if I had, say, this over here in my achievement area and I hadn't spent it at the end of the game, this would actually be worth 4 points. So I'd have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points at the end of the game if this is what I ended with. Alright, and that is pretty much how you play Starlight Stage. Now, what do I think about the game? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to cover the artwork. I'm a big fan of the artwork. I like the anime style artwork. However, what may turn some people off is some of the cards do show a little bit of skin. It's nothing too bad. I think these right here are probably the worst culprits. You have like a swimsuit photo op, and then you have like these. These are probably going to be your worst culprits, so if this bothers you, then you might have a problem. But other than that, that's probably the worst of the artwork. Me personally, I like a little bit of skin in my board games, but your mileage may vary. But how is the game? Well, first and foremost, I'm a big fan of the theme. I like, I like Vocaloid, Hatsune Miku, if you're unfamiliar. Even though Kagami Rin is the best idol, but everybody knows that Kira Miki is actually the best idol. And there's probably like 3 of you guys that actually know who that is, but that's neither here nor there. The game itself is a lot of fun. The fact that you only got those 3 girls, so you're going to be playing, you're going to be playing 1 every round. Or if you want to push it, not really push your luck, but if you want to push it a little bit, you can play two girls to get that 1 event card. Maybe you really need that event card to set yourself up for a future round or maybe a future turn to get the card that you need. But the problem is, it's going to keep going around until everybody's out of idols. So if you play 2 or even 3 to get that 1 card you need, but then everybody else is only playing 1, they're getting 3 actions and you only got 1, maybe 2. And that's huge in this game because you're not getting a whole lot of actions. That event deck burns out a lot faster than you would think. So yeah, overall, definitely, the game is outstanding. We had very little problems with the game. I mean, it does have a couple that some people may not like. First and foremost, you're dealing with cards. So, there is going to be that element of randomness there, but it is mitigated because at the beginning of your turn, you're going to flip over one of the cards, optionally. So you're going to have first dibs of anything on the field. So you're able to mitigate that luck of what comes out because, again, you get the first dibs, you get to look at the board and go, okay, what do I need to do? And you are in control of your girls, so you're okay. You have to go there. I need this. All right, I'm going to pre-plan, and then maybe so and so takes a card that you needed. Now you have to adjust your plans on the fly. So there is very little luck aside from what cards are coming out, but again is a bit mitigated. And the last problem that is a minor problem that we did have with the game is the event deck, the idol deck, and the fame deck. They're always the same. Every game, you're always going to be using the same deck. So people who know the game better, they're definitely going to have an advantage. They know, okay, these are the cards that I need to hold out for. So I need to make sure I have this, or I need to make sure I have this, and you gear towards certain cards. So it is going to have that. Whoever's more familiar with the game is going to enjoy it more. So that was really the biggest problem we had with the game, honestly. The luck aspect it's going to maybe annoy some people, but it's almost non-existent. It's really just every game feels kind of similar. With that said, every game that we played of this was a lot of fun. It plays in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and it's fairly quick. There's very little downtime because my turn, it's okay, I'm going to play this, get this card, boom, your turn, draw a card, I'm going to draw this card, put it out, play this girl, boom, your turn's over, goes to the next person. Turns just fly by like this. There's multiple times that we were playing that you're sitting there, you do your turn, you know, so and so starts taking their turn, and you're looking at your hand, looking at the board, going, all right, what am I gonna do? So I need to get this, and which symbols do I need? And then suddenly, hey man, it's your turn. You're like, oh hell, I haven't even had time to think about what I'm doing yet. And so the game plays super quick, very little downtime. It's a lot of fun, and overall, just I don't know what else to say about it. It is a very good game. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time in the Quarantine.